fights, it's, you know, cowboys and Indians. It kind of harkens back to that kind of youthful.
The Matrix Reloaded is a 2003 American science fiction action film written and directed by the Wachowskis. The action film was welcomed with lots of praise and acceptance. However, what many didn't know is that there are many behind the scenes that nearly affected the movie. In this video, get ready to explore 20 weird facts about The Matrix Reloaded that you didn't know. Number 20. Will Smith turned down the script.
I don't think I've ever even said it publicly before. Chris Nolan brought me Inception first.
Shocking truth. Before Keanu Reeves got the role in The Matrix Reloaded, guess who was offered the role first? Will Smith. However, he turned it down. What? How could he? Let's not judge him yet before hearing his reasons. Do you want to find out? Let's go! Before the making of The Matrix, Will Smith was approached. At that time, he was one of the leading actors in the industry. He had just released some of his best movies, such as Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black. He was known and loved by all. Calling him a movie star was not wrong. Also, on many occasions, Will had proven that he had an interest in the science fiction genre. This made him a perfect leading man for the Matrix movies. The story of the first Matrix movie centered on the character Neo. Neo discovered that humanity was trapped inside the Matrix, a simulated reality that was created by intelligent machines. With such an important role, Lily and Lana Wachowski, the writers and directors of the movie, offered the role of Neo to Smith. They believed he was the perfect man for the job. Many people believed that Will Smith's accepting that role would have been the best decision of his life. Also, it would have changed his career completely and transformed him. Why? After the release of the movie, it became a huge success and the start of a franchise. Unfortunately, Will rejected the role. He was unsure about the Wachowskis' pitch for the movie and decided to turn down the leading role. Years later, Smith realized the need to explain his actions after the movie made him famous. He did this in a YouTube video in 2019. In the video, Neo shared that after starring in Independence Day, he also wanted to turn down Men in Black. However, amid the considerations, Steven Spielberg approached him and convinced him to take the role. Steven told him that turning down Men in Black would be a big mistake. He accepted the role, but it was during that time that he was offered the Matrix script. There are other speculations that Steven may not have wanted to feature in too many science fiction movies. Therefore, when the Wachowskis pitched him their idea for The Matrix, Smith wasn't sold. In the video, he shared that they had pitched him a scene in which he would jump during a fight and stop in mid-air while the camera moved around him. Ironically, the screen ended up becoming one of the best scenes in the movie, but Will didn't understand this at that moment. He was also shocked to discover that the directing duo wanted to invent a new camera to film The Matrix. He ultimately decided that the Matrix role wasn't right for him and decided to pass on the role. Instead of joining the cast of The Matrix Reloaded, he signed on to star in another movie. Do you want to take a guess? Yes, that's right. It was a Wild Wild West film. He declined the role in The Matrix Reloaded for the 1999 film Wild Wild West, which ultimately became a failure. Will also admitted in his video that he was not proud of Wild Wild West. He believed it was one of the worst movies of his career. Wild Wild West was directed by Barry Sonnenfeld, who also helmed Men in Black. For this reason, Will chose to work with a director whom he knew and trusted. Unfortunately for him, after the Wild Wild West's release, the reviews for the movie were horrible. Currently, Wild Wild West has a score of 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Did he learn from this? Oh yes, he did. It was a painful lesson. Number 19. Different Neo, different outcome. Have you noticed that Keanu and Will have been compared many times? Many believe there would have been a different outcome if Will had played the role of Neo. In the movie, Keanu Reeves and Lawrence Fishburne played the roles of Neo and Morpheus. The two of them made the characters iconic. Also, movie analysts often share that the dynamic between them was one of the highlights in the movie. However, things would have been very different if Will Smith had accepted the role of Neo in the movie. If Smith were Neo, it was sure that Fishburne would not have been cast as Morpheus. According to Will Smith, when the Wachowskis approached him, they were looking to cast Val Kilmer as Morpheus, when he was the first choice to play Neo. Also, if Will Smith were Neo and Kilmer were Morpheus, The Matrix would have been a completely different film. Later, Will admitted that if he had been Neo, it's possible he would have ruined the movie. He believed that Neo would have made a lot more jokes in the movie if he had played the role. Many of Will's characters were always witty and playful. In contrast, Keanu Reeves' portrayal of Neo was incredibly serious. So it's possible that the tone of The Matrix would have been completely different if Smith had been Neo, potentially leading to a worse movie. Though Will still regrets not playing the role that could have been a turnaround in his career, he celebrated the actors used in the movie. Number 18. Simulacra and simulation. There have been many discussions about the use of simulacra and simulation in the movie. Yes, it was used. Let's explore. Although Baudrillard's work differs greatly from the tenets of The Matrix, numerous theories suggest that the nature of reality mirrored in both works is connected to simulacra and simulation. Simulacra and simulation talks about the precedence of images and signs, which have essentially altered and replaced our understanding of reality. While arguing about that, Baudrillard posited that reality, as we know it, is simply a simulation of what we understand as real, as the world is filled with hyper-real imagery and symbolism. These were signs larger than life itself. Also, when it was applied to the real world in the movie, where Neo and the others operate most of the time, it paints Zion in a completely new light, as the city appears more hyper-real over time. Also, analysts shared that if the real world is another level of the simulation, then it lines up with Baudrillard's theory that the alien nature of reality permeates human perception with apathy and erodes hope. This was reflected in the actions of Cypher in the movies. Also, despite it being a red pill, Cypher rejects the real world due to the terrors associated with it, acting with apathy toward his crew in favor of the lull of an even deeper layer of dissociation. Another question was posed. Could the real world be deliberately designed by the machines in a cold, brutish, subterranean way to pose the Matrix world as the more desirable one? Want to know the answers? Keep on watching. From the movie, despite Zion being a reflection of reality, Zion feels utterly alien, almost hyper-real in the way it functions. This could also tie in with the planned emergence of the Cypherites, who are vehemently opposed to the awakening of humans to reality. Number 17. Questions. While everyone watched The Matrix Reloaded, behind the scenes there were many questions. To start with, many longtime fans of the movie argued that several plot points in The Matrix Reloaded point toward the fact that the real world is yet another level fashioned by the machines. How true is this? After many analyses, one of the biggest clues that leads to the authenticity of this claim is how Neo was able to utilize his powers in the real world. He went as far as disabling the Sentinels with the aid of telekinesis. This can be interpreted as the manipulation of reality. Though it is granted that Neo is the One, it is also important to remember that the sheer concept of the One, along with the prophecy, is a fabrication by the machine world to further control reality. There is more. Understanding the innate human urge for conflict, hope, and the illusion of choice, the machine world fashioned the emergence of a Messiah figure. This was a deliberate glitch in the Matrix designed to work in their favor. Although Neo does break the established mold of the One by defeating Agent Smith and striking a deal with the machines, it does not explain how he can demonstrate superhuman-like abilities in the real world. This is further revealed by the fact that Smith manages to possess Bane, who is not a part of the Matrix and is a red pill, which persists even after he is jacked out of the system. Even though Smith functions as a virus or an anomaly in the system, it is hard to explain how he can override Bane's mind completely, which seems plausible if Bane is yet another orchestrated red pill within a simulated layer of reality. Also, in the movie, Neo entered the real world from the Matrix without being jacked in, which suggests a form of wireless data flow between the two planes. There are also reports that as Zion is simply allowed to exist, its very existence may be a part of a predetermined script. While Zion has always been associated with the last hope for humanity, it was looking like another prison for red pills who think they have escaped the simulation. Many other hints showing that the real world was simulated could also be gleaned from the architect's conversation with Neo. According to theorist Jason Payne, the architect is not required to guide Neo in his destiny, as it is already a predetermined one. Also, the fact that an intelligent machine would not factor Neo's choice into the equation is an unlikely one. Although Neo's decision not to reload the Matrix has never been seen before, it is unlikely that the architect would ignore this probability, as it is borderline inevitable that someone would eventually decide to do so. Number 16. Keanu Reeves was never considered for the role. After Will Smith refused to play Neo, did the role go to Keanu Reeves? No. Unlike many people's belief, Reeves was never considered by the directors. Instead, they approached other actors. Nicolas Cage was approached, but he turned down the part. Later, the Wachowskis approached Johnny Depp, but he turned it down as well. Later, they decided to approach Brad Pitt, but he turned it down as well. Brad claimed that he turned down the role for other interesting roles, and it didn't affect his career. Known for taking risks, he earned his first Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor in the movie 12 Monkeys. The film was released in 1995. When Brad was asked if he regretted turning down the script, he jokingly shared that the movie was not the only cinematic masterpiece for which he was offered the opportunity to act. He was clear that he had no regrets or pain for turning down the script. He had better offers, and he didn't hide it. Number 15. Val Kilmer was considered for many roles. Do you know that Val Kilmer would have played the role of Morpheus in the movie? Shocked? Don't be, it's the truth. Before the release of the movie, Val Kilmer was on a roll as a bona fide movie star. He had worked with many filmmakers like Tony Scott in Top Gun, Oliver Stone in The Doors, and Michael Mann in Heat. Also, Kilmer acted in Batman Forever. During the time he was approached for the role of Morpheus, his career was thriving and blooming. However, there were reports that he was not ready to trade his black rubber suit of the Caped Crusader for the black leather alligator trench coat of Morpheus, but the producers wanted him on the show. Kilmer was known for his great charisma and also possessed the kind of quiet intensity that would have made him a natural candidate for a character who has to carefully illustrate the gravity of deconstructing a false reality. The initial plan was for Will to play the role of Neo, and Kilmer to play the role of Morpheus. After Will turned down the role, Kilmer lost the role. If I were Neo, Morpheus couldn't be black, so they were looking at Val Kilmer. I was going to be Neo, and Val Kilmer was going to be Morpheus, Smith explained. Instead, Kilmer chose to star in the romantic drama At First Sight. Also, there have been many what-ifs about Val Kilmer's role. Later, Fishburne won the role, and it became a new milestone in his career. Akin to Neo's casting process, Morpheus had some other high-caliber talent in contention, such as Michael Douglas, and even more confoundingly, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Shocked? Well, that was what was going on behind the scenes. These talents were considered for the roles. Rumors later revealed that the long and stressful will they, won't they casting process came about from Warner Brothers. They wanted some A-list talent to help offset the project. Di Bonaventura explained, "The bigger the star, the more likely the studio was to say yes." Although Val passed on playing the pilot of the Nebuchadnezzar, he later got another opportunity to star in the science fiction thriller with Matrix star Carrie-Anne Moss in the form of Red Planet. Number 14. The Bruce Lee Effect. One common practice of martial arts movies is to pay homage to the legends, especially to those who inspired the movie. In The Matrix Reloaded, this norm was embraced, and they did this by giving multiple nods to kung fu legend Bruce Lee. After famously learning martial arts from a computer program, Neo emerges from his training to a curious Morpheus and states, "I know kung fu." Then he replies, "Show me." Right there, the movie's first big duel begins. After boasting that he knows kung fu, Neo wasted no time in mimicking the one and only Bruce Lee. He did this to express his confidence after he was told not to hold back. Throughout the Morpheus and Neo fight, the movie paid homage to Bruce Lee. Right from the very beginning, Neo bounces on the balls of his feet, shakes his arms out, and then rubs his thumb across his nose in a quick motion. It was this motion that made Bruce Lee famous during his movie career. Bruce Lee was known for his displeasure with traditional kung fu. He believed it affected his organic innovation in place of tradition. Also, because of this, he would add signature movements to his fighting style, such as the "bring it" gesture. In the movie, Morpheus also made the same signature movements that were famous by Bruce Lee. The Wachowski sisters also managed to squeeze in one more Bruce Lee reference when Neo was proving to Morpheus how fast he can move. Later, Neo's arms became a blur, creating an illusion where it looked as if he had a dozen arms. It was a final nod to Bruce Lee's famous scene in Fist of Fury. The movie became a renowned martial arts film, recognizing the superstars who paved the way for the genre's popularity. Number 13. The trainings behind the scenes. Do you also believe that the martial arts scenes added to the popularity of the show? Guess what? Keanu Reeves had to undergo rigorous training to effectively portray his roles. After he got the role, Keanu agreed to the Wachowskis' terms to undergo 4 months of vigorous martial arts training to prepare for the movie. His focus on the craft and art form of martial arts allowed him a deeper understanding and respect for the Wachowskis' vision and the martial arts he was performing. Also, his dedication to learning Kung Fu, paired with his stunt double Chad Stahelski's incredible talent, paved the way for the movie to become an iconic action film under Yuen Wu-Ping's guidance. Though many of the viewers were not familiar with the name of Yuen Wu-Ping, they knew his work. The Wachowskis took a step further and tracked Yuen down. After they found him, they brought his expertise to Hollywood with a promise of creating an innovative vision, a Kung Fu science fiction film. However, what many didn't know is that behind the beautiful scenes on camera, Keanu Reeves paid the price. Number 12. The Matrix's martial arts movie influence made the action unique. Records revealed that the martial arts movie aspect of The Matrix made the action unique. When Yuen came on board, he made sure to incorporate his vision and the physical wirework that was made famous in movies like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, allowing for the high-flying stunts well known in Hong Kong cinema. In the movie, Lawrence Fishburne, Hugo Weaving, and Carrie-Anne Moss all joined Keanu Reeves in the extensive Kung Fu training. The directors instructed this to ensure that the main cast members could represent their own Kung Fu. Each of the main characters also fights their charisma, making memorable scenes stand out. Number 11. The movie did not invent bullet time. Another interesting fact about the movie that many people do not know is that the movie never invented bullet time. Though the movie was similar to bullet time special effects, which features time dilation being manifested within the film as things slow down for Neo as he learned to understand the rules of the Matrix. This is exemplified by his ability to dodge bullets as they slow down around him. With all the actions going on, the movie ended up popularizing the term bullet time. This helped to increase people's awareness of the concept, but it did not invent the special effect. Later, John Gaeta, who led the special effects team on the movie, cited Michel Gondry as an influence for the bullet time effects. Also, in 1998, the same effects were seen in Blade. Number 10. Alice in Wonderland. Do you know that the movie is very much connected to Alice in Wonderland? While watching the movie, some eagle-eyed fans spotted the first motif, which is the use of animals in the movie. Also, throughout Alice in Wonderland, the writer talked about a range of animals, from real-world creatures to a long list of new and never-seen-before creatures. In addition to that, there were playing cards belonging to the Queen of Hearts who walked and talked. The glasses and spades that fly, cry, and help guide Alice in her journey were also seen in the movie. The two most famous characters in the book are, of course, the White Rabbit and the Cheshire Cat. In the movie, the White Rabbit appears several times. Movie critics shared that the White Rabbit was portrayed both in literal and more subtle senses. In an obvious way, the tattoo on the left shoulder of Bugs, the girl who led Neo into the nightclub, sets him back on his whole journey with a reawakening. This was the throwback to the first movie, when Neo sees a similar tattoo on a woman named Du Jour after seeing a message prompting him to follow the White Rabbit. Though the rabbit was portrayed in other ways throughout the film, often in portals which are usually mirrors, everyone knew it was connected to Alice in Wonderland. The portals are, in essence, the rabbit hole that Alice goes down, and the fact that they are mirrors is a reference to Carol's Through the Looking Glass, another of Alice's adventures in a surreal world. The mirror portals represent the reflection of the human condition and our everyday choice between taking the easy road and fighting hard for a life that is ultimately more real and rewarding. Number 9. Keanu Reeves struggles before working on The Matrix Reloaded script. Before Keanu Reeves started working on The Matrix Reloaded script, one thing was sure. Reeves had some career struggles. When Keanu moved to Los Angeles, he was eager for new opportunities, and they came quicker than he thought. He had his debut in the Canadian television series Hangin' in 1984. He appeared in his first feature film, Young Blood, in 1986. Later, he had his breakout role in 1989 with the comedy Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. In the comedy, he played the lovable, goofy slacker Ted Theodore Logan. The film was a bit and led to a sequel, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, in 1991. This further strengthened his status as a rising star in Hollywood. He didn't stop there. He continued to build his career more and more. Later, in the early 1990s, Keanu continued to build his career with diverse roles in films like My Own Private Idaho. The movie was released in 1991. In the movie, he played a young man searching for his estranged mother alongside River Phoenix. Also, he featured in the action-packed films Point Break and Speed. All these films reflected his range as an actor, and it later strengthened him as an action hero and helped him gain recognition. However, along the way, Keanu Reeves had a little setback in his career. It was a tough season for him, but no one knew. Right at that moment, he ended up achieving global superstardom with the release of The Matrix in 1990. The movie helped Keanu to go back into the limelight. The Wachowskis were a huge help to him, and so was the groundbreaking science fiction action thriller and visual feast that blended cyberpunk elements, martial arts, and philosophical themes. When The Matrix was released, it became a huge success. Many critics referred to it as one of the best science fiction films ever made. Later, he acted as Neo in The Matrix Reloaded and also in The Matrix Revolutions. People commended him for his great acting skills in The Matrix Reloaded, and this helped him a lot. Though the sequels received different comments, it was still regarded as box office successes. Number 8. Marcus Chong's controversy. Do you remember the famous character Tank in The Matrix Reloaded? Don't be too surprised to discover that behind the scenes, Tank had a little issue. In May 2003, Marcus Chong filed a lawsuit at the Los Angeles County Superior Court against Warner Bros. And AOL Time Warner. In the lawsuit, Chong mentioned that Warner was in breach of a 1998 verbal agreement. He added that the production company also breached a 2000 contract to continue the character of Tank in the film's 2 sequels. When Chong was offered a total of $250,000 to appear in The Matrix Reloaded, he claimed that he was owed twice that amount, in addition to bonuses and guarantees that he would be invited to press junkets and premieres. When he raised these demands, the Wachowskis rejected them. Things got worse, and Chong was arrested in October 2000 for allegedly making threatening phone calls to the filmmakers. In his lawsuit, he claimed that he had since been blackballed from Hollywood. This he blamed on the Matrix creators and Warner Brothers for branding him a terrorist. Chong didn't stop here. He went ahead to express his displeasure. In 2016, Chong did a radio interview with Blog Talk Radio. He shared more details about the behind-the-scenes issues during the production of The Matrix and instances that occurred afterwards where he felt he was treated unfairly. Later, in 2018, he released a document, The Marcus Chong Story, on his YouTube channel. He created the YouTube channels under the names Marcus Wyatt and Marcus Chong. It detailed his life and the issues he has faced working with actor C. Thomas Howell in the direct-to-video movie Pure Danger, which was released in 1996. Number 7. The Red and Blue Pill. In the movie, the red and blue pills served as potent symbols. Based on research, the red and blue pills are metaphorical terms representing a choice between learning an unsettling or life-changing truth by taking the red pill or remaining in the unquestioned experience of an illusion appearing as an ordinary reality with the blue pill. In the film, the main character, Neo, was offered the choice between a red pill and a blue pill by the rebel leader Morpheus. Morpheus says, "You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes." Here it was implied that the blue pill is a sedative that would cause Neo to think that all his most recent experiences were a hallucination. He did this so that he could go back to living in the Matrix's simulated reality. The red pill, on the other hand, serves as a location device to locate the subject's body in the real world and to prepare them to be unplugged from the movie. After Neo took the red pill, he slept off and awoke in the real world. When he got there, he was forcibly ejected from the liquid-filled chamber in which he had been living. After his rescue and recovery, Morpheus shows him the true nature of the Matrix, a detailed computer simulation of Earth at the end of the 20th century. The actual year, not known for sure, is suggested within the original movie to be approximately 200 years later, though it was revealed through the sequels. It has been created to keep the minds of humans docile while their bodies are stored in massive power plants, their body heat and bioelectricity consumed as power by the sentient machines that have enslaved them. Number 6. Tank has a famous father. In reality, Tank, who acted as the brother of Dozer and a human born outside the Matrix, was played by Marcus Chong. Unknown to many, Marcus had a famous father. When you hear the name Chong, does Tommy Chong ring a bell? Well, that's true. Marcus Chong is the adopted son of Tommy Chong. There were many speculations about their relationship. Many people believe that Tommy may have smoked marijuana before watching the movie. However, Marcus didn't end up appearing in the sequels because of his little scuffle with Warner Brothers and AOL Time Warner. Number 5. The film had a huge budget. It will interest you to know that the film came with an incredibly modest budget for a production of the time. According to reports, the budget spent was just $65 million. Critics reviewed this and believed that it was a good budget. What is more interesting is that Warner Brothers only awarded a sixth of the film's $60 million budget. For this reason, Wachowski put effort into the first action scene they shot, to send it back to the studio and counteract their concerns. They took this step, hoping that it would convince them to award them a larger budget. Also, it's worth noting that the rates of inflation mean that the budget will be equivalent to approximately $100 million today. How did they raise the money? Apart from Warner Brothers, they also benefited from the public endorsement of other prominent directors like Quentin Tarantino, who called the premiere a mind-blowing experience. All the right movies shared this before putting it in his top 20 movies of the decade, between 1992 and 2009. Number 4. The film was a box office success. The Matrix Reloaded was not the Wachowskis' first film. They had released their first movie, Bound, a thriller from 1966 that fell short of takings during its run at the box office. Also, despite this, The Matrix Reloaded received lots of praise for its intricate narrative, which meant all eyes were on the film as the duo's succeeding project. For 3 consecutive weekends, the movie remained in the #1 spot. It was later revealed that the movie made $466 million at the box office. Number 3. Is Dark City better than The Matrix? On many occasions, The Matrix Reloaded and other series have been compared with Dark City. Many believe Dark City is better, while others oppose it. Let's get more details. Dark City is a 1998 neo-noir film that features heavy science fiction elements. As the movie progressed, the science fiction elements that had been slowly growing became more apparent. The film centers on an amnesiac man waking up with no memories, only to learn that he has been accused of taking someone's life. As he tried to clear his name, he had many run-ins with a mysterious group of figures called the Strangers. Without spoiling the brilliant twist that makes the title of Dark City, the movie ends up taking place in a similarly fabricated reality to The Matrix's setting. Famous film critic Robert Elbert also praised Dark City's take on the idea in an interview. To him, Dark City was a stronger movie than The Matrix. According to Ebert, Dark City did what The Matrix wanted to do, earlier and with more feeling, leveling special praise at the film's more accentuated sense of humanity. He added that Dark City preceded the movie by a year and even filmed some of the same locations. He did this to prove that the Wachowskis' script was not as original as many thought. Number 2. William Gibson's connection to the movie. William Gibson wrote a book titled Necromancer. After many people read the book, there were claims that the book was similar to the movie. Let's check one of the reports. I was surprised at just how similar they are to the film The Matrix, or rather just how much the film lifts from the series. I'm surprised that more ink hasn't been spilled about this, and that it hasn't been covered a little more in depth. So indulge me for a moment. The report continued, "Now, I'm not accusing the producers of trying to hide anything. After all, the very title of the film, The Matrix, is a nod to the name of the web in Gibson's dark future, so they were very respectful of the source material. The way one navigates by jumping in using special decks will also resonate with those who watched the movie, but plot-wise and philosophically, one concedes that there are many differences. Number 1. The movie had filming issues. Although many people were unaware, the movie was actually filmed in Sydney, Australia. Unfortunately, things didn't go as planned. Production was shut down for a time because they had flown a helicopter through restricted airspace. In the end, New South Wales altered their laws to keep the production from filming. The area became a popular shooting spot for American movies afterward, and it paid off in the long run. After discovering these secrets, do you still like The Matrix Reloaded and the other series? Which of the facts do you like the most? Leave your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Before you go, watch the other videos displayed on your screen.